when you look at, traditional influencer, I believe the, average engagement rate is somewhere in the 1 to 3% range. When you look at college athletes, like the average on our platform, and that's about 100,000 athletes, is 15%.
Welcome back to the podcast where we explore the creator economy and how you can succeed in it. Our guest today is Nick Lord, founder and CEO of No Cap Sports. Nicholas, pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
So I want to talk today with you about No Cap Sports and another topic that I'm very curious about, which is name, image, likeness. But first, can you give us an introduction into who you are, what your story is?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Nick Lord. I'm the founder and CEO of No Cap Sports. Started this company back in college about 3 years ago. Graduated in 2020 from a small school in Pennsylvania in the United States called Gettysburg College. Actually graduated during the pandemic, so I was sent home early and decided to start a business. And the business I started initially started as a college recruiting company. So we were connecting high school athletes with college coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Took a pretty quick pivot as soon as there was some rumors going around college athletes being able to monetize their personal brand for the first time ever, just like any other influencer or athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And decided to pivot the business fully into that. Met up with my two co-founders and have been working on that ever since. So about 3 years strong now.
Wow. So college athletes were never allowed to monetize their own brand.
That is correct. Yeah, until July 1st of 2021. Oh, it's completely shifted college sports in so many different ways. I mean, it was ridiculous in the first place that these college athletes weren't able to monetize their personal brand, just like any other person on the entire universe. But, in general, I think it's going to change college sports forever. I think it gives opportunities for these athletes to, build a, real business for themselves much earlier on in life than you think.
Yeah.
These kids have an incredible influence within these fan bases, and there's the ability to make a significant amount of money as a college athlete just based on the audience that they can have pull on.
Yeah. And so where does this all come about for you in your personal life? Were you a former college athlete as well that sort of pivoted into this sort of line of work?
I was a college athlete. I was a Division III college athlete with not a big following on social media by any means. So I probably couldn't have made too much as a creator.
Has that played into the ability of growth for creators being able to get these brand deals, or are the brand deals and the growth of creators just completely unrelated?
I think it's sparked a lot of growth. I mean, I think in general, when you look at athletes compared to traditional creators, they bring a really unique, perspective to influencing. When you look at just their audience in general, so if you dig into like influencer marketing, one of the biggest things brands look at when deciding who to work with is engagement rate. How many people are engaging with that creator's content, buying things from them, interested in what they're talking about. When you look at traditional influencer, I believe the average engagement rate is somewhere in the 1 to 3% range. When you look at college athletes, like the average on our platform, and that's about 100,000 athletes, is 15%. So you're looking at a huge increase in the people engaging with that content. So these athletes theoretically have a much better chance of selling a product as compared to a traditional influencer. And one other kind of key aspect to that as well is that when you look at like these athletes' followings and audiences, they're hyper targeted. So a lot of the time, like 50, 60, 70% of the time, their followers are located either in that college town or within that college fan base. So brands now are able to target precise locations utilizing these athlete influencers. So I could be a brand and say, hey, I want to tap into these 8 different markets and hit up an athlete in each one of those markets who likely has a large following in that specific market.
That's kind of really cool. It's the difference between the average influencer and these athletes that are influencing and the engagement rate. That's really ridiculous. Are we seeing that level of engagement rate anywhere else outside of, say, the superstar creators that are really mainstream and have been mainstream for 10 years?
I don't think so. I think this is kind of a first, and specifically in influencer marketing. I don't think anyone's really seen numbers like that. Um, at that big of a scale, really.
Yeah. I want to know about no cap sports, like the platform itself. What does
Mhm.
it actually do? What's it used for? How many people use it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been building the platform for the last 3 years.
Mm.
It's taken a couple of different shapes. Where we're really focused now is on connecting, mainly working with brands and businesses and helping them activate this new set of influencers. So whether that's local, regional, or national brands, we're helping them kind of come in and navigate this space. I would say our primary focus is on larger scale brands, brand agencies who are already investing in influencer marketing and now educating them on why they should be investing into college athletes. We've built a platform that essentially allows these brands to easily access these athletes and activate them, and as well as measure the results of activating those specific athletes.
Yeah, crazy. And is there like a minimum follower requirement to access the platform or participate?
There is no minimum.
What do you think these athletes slash creators, because that's basically what they're becoming, athlete creators, are doing to get engaged followings more than the average creator? What is it? Is it because they're hyper focused on the content? It's just like a specific niche around them and their personal brand and their story within the sport. Like, is it something
Yeah.
else?
I think it's just the group that they're able to get in touch with. And that group is college sports fan bases who are some of like the most dedicated and rabid people out there. They're so passionate about their college sports or their alma mater that they want to know everything that those athletes are doing and want to do everything in their power to support their athletes and make sure that their team is winning. So these athletes are able to tap into those. They're the biggest, vehicle in order to tap into those college fan bases, compared to anyone else that's ever been able to.
Mm. And one thing I'm this from coming from a conversation I've had with another podcast guest. Do you Well, we potentially see that the creator landscape or the creator economy is becoming extremely saturated. Like, and I'll just say everyone can create content now using their phone, right? And so
Hmm.
that means that there's more content to go around. And that means brands can spread their money to thousands more creators instead of just hyperfixating on one, two, or three creators. Do you think that's where being a college athlete is going to really make it easier to collaborate with brands compared to the average creator because they've got that naturally higher engagement rate?
Yeah, I think so. And there's also just a limited supply. When you
Yeah.
think about the general creator economy, like anyone can become a creator. I think, you know, in terms of it being saturated, I think it's a semi good thing because it, separates the good content creators from the ones that aren't really putting the time in, and it
Yeah.
rewards the people that are putting in the time. There's only 500,000 of them out there, so there's a limited supply, and there's not going to be it's not going to get oversaturated. It's
Yeah.
pretty much impossible.
Yeah, cool. And so, where do you see, I guess, the creator economy, the creator landscape in the next 5 years? What does it look like, and how do college athletes fit within that landscape?
Yeah, I mean, I think brands are just continuing to pour more and more resources into these creators. I think they provide the most, authentic way to get your product or service in front of larger audiences. So I think the creator economy is going to continue to grow at a huge pace over the next couple of years. And I think college athletes are going to play a big role in that, especially as more and more of these athletes take advantage of the opportunity that they have, and really kind of, put the time into educating themselves and, starting to, you know, put in the time and effort to creating content that fans are gonna enjoy, and then brands see that and they're like, man, I want to get in front of this athlete's content or in front of this athlete's audience now. So I think college athletes are going to play a huge role in the growth of the creator economy over the next couple of years.
And what's your message to the aspiring college athletes that are sort of they're considering college, it might be a few years away when it comes to content creation and building their brand leading into
Yeah,
college?
yeah. I think just start early, test things out, see what's going to hit, see what's not going to hit, and don't be afraid to get some hate at any point. Just be authentic. I think is probably the biggest one. Just be yourself, and that's what people are going to really kind of attach themselves to. That's what they want to see online.
Yeah, absolutely. And just before we wrap this up, here in Australia, we have Aussie Rules Football. And on TikTok, we have this one AFL creator, and he started making a lot of content, gets a lot of hate. But from that, you've seen 9, 10-year-olds creating content around sport now, around that sport, which is completely, it's really weird. But you see them doing training, kicking goals, and it's like, wow, they're doing this same thing that you've got your people coming into college sports now in the US, except they're building a small platform for themselves that when they get to the junior, middle, and then potentially the elite level, they've already established a platform with their
Right.
name, image, and likeness without even realizing they've just been inspired
Mm-hmm.
by creators. So, that's the one thing is if you're not sure what you can do, just go consume a couple of college athletes you already look up to and consume their
Absolutely.
content, and then start to try and replicate and try things that they've done, because, the success is in what other people have already done. Yeah. No need to reinvent the wheel drastically. Just put your own flair on it. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Could not agree more. Yeah. There's too many athletes out there not to follow. So,
Excellent.
if you're a young athlete aspiring to do the same thing, see what's working for others and apply your own little spin to it.
Beautiful. Nick, where can everyone connect with you if you want to learn more about your brand?
Yeah. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Nicholas Lord, or if you want to check out our company, nocapsports.io, you can go on our site and play around if you'd like as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Nick, thank you so much for sharing your insights into name, image, and likeness. It's a whole different ballgame for me, and I really appreciate your insights there, and just your insights in general into the creator landscape and where you see that moving in the next, sort of 5 years. Super exciting time to be in the creator space. And big thank you to our creators and creative professionals for listening to this podcast. Hope you got a lot of value out of No Cap Sports and what Nick has had to say about name, image, and likeness. Catch you all in the creator landscape. Thank you so much, Nick.
Yep. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it, man.